What's going on, gangs? It's MovieJohn here, and I'm doing a video response to Gabby Hernandez about remakes, reboots, sequels, stuff like that. If you ain't never checked out our channel, I got the link in the bottom to the video that she did on this subject, and just inspired me to do a video talking about it because they had a few things in common. And since the new Halloween movie's coming out, and it's basically well, I guess it's a sequel in a way, but some people kind of call it a reboot or whatever. They already tried to do that a few years ago with Rob Zombie's movies. Now, one of the worst remakes, I think, was not actually a remake. It was a sequel to a remake, I guess, because the first Halloween that he did was all right at times, but there was problems with it and stuff. I didn't care a whole lot about it. The second one was horrible. But there is people out there that love that damn movie, and I'm really not sure why they love that damn movie, but they do. I think it was like, it seemed like he was on acid or something when he did that damn movie. I don't understand. I think he was set to ruin the franchise of Halloween. But the new one's out. I haven't saw it yet. I'm not really planning on going to the theater and saw it. I thought about it a day or two ago, and I think I'm just going to wait. I hear a lot of people say that it's got a lot of what should I say, bad things about it. Everything's going to be bad or whatever, and there's some comedy parts in it that she said that kind of doesn't really go with the movie and stuff. But to the average folk, you know, they'll go see it and they'll probably love it, and probably some of them, you know, younger kids and stuff hadn't even seen the original Halloween, or if they see the original Halloween from the 70s, they probably think it's boring and they think it's funny and it's not as good as now because of the certain things that they can do in movies now and stuff. But a true horror fan loves the original Halloween, so now there's 3 movies out there called Halloween. I'll see that one eventually. But remakes and stuff has been around for who knows how, as long as they've been making movies, really. And I remember seeing movies back in the 80s like you know, The Thing. That was a remake, and from like the 50s and 60s. Back then they made them from that era. And then later on in the 90s they were making, you know, remakes from the 60s and 70s. But now, you know, they're remaking about every damn thing, especially stuff from the 70s and 80s. Why? Because they're freaking good movies and they're classics, and they mess them up a lot of the times. You know, there's been a lot of different remakes out there and reboots and stuff. And what's next? I always say The Exorcist. I always say that they're going to remake that or reboot it or whatever they want to call it. Sequels. She talked about sequels too. I think that's, like, I agree with her saying that that's what makes people that just likes, you know, don't really get into horror because they don't take it serious, because of like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street make so many damn sequels and stuff, or some other movies that, you know, came out afterwards, and the Scream movies and stuff. And yeah, some of the sequels really ain't that bad, or they're not that good, I should say. But some aren't really that bad either. The Scream movies were alright. I never did get to see the 4th Scream. I know, I'm behind, well, big time. But the Scream movies was pretty good. And like the Saw movies, the sequels and stuff, I kind of got bored after 3. But sequels are always going to be made in horror movies, because there's always, like, you think it's over, and at the end of it, they're going to have a big scream or something, and they just continue with it. Why? Money! She said that in her video too. Cashing in on money. It's all you got to make in the world, and they got to make movies and they want to make money off of them. So why not? Let's go ahead and reboot Halloween. Let's bring Jamie Lee Curtis back, John Carpenter, and they think it's going to be just great, just out there, big time. And it probably will make a lot of movie. Why? Because people want to see it. But then I hear people say it ain't got a good plot, and just the comedy and stuff that was in it, and it's, you never can duplicate the classics. I don't care how many they make. I heard this was probably going to be the very last one they ever make. I doubt it. But there is other remakes in the work, or sequels to remakes. My favorite remake was way back in the early 2000s, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with the one with Jessica Biel in it. I always thought that was probably one of the better remakes, because the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I mean, it's classic and all, don't get me wrong, but it did need a remake. There's some movies that do need a remake, and, you know, to me, I think, but, you know, for that era and stuff, you could do a lot more with the movie nowadays, and they did do it. But now they're kind of running it in the ground, I should say. They had another one called The Beginning that was all right, and now they had one that was just called Leatherface. I've yet to see that one. I hear it's horrible. So they just keep on running and running with it. And why? Money. Got to make the money. But some of these characters will live on forever. I mean, they're just going to keep making them, you know. In my era, growing up, that's the Fab Four, you know. And Leatherface, Freddy, Jason, Michael. And, you know, way before that, they had the Universal monsters of Dracula and Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Wolfman. And they still make them movies, too. Even though it's been almost 100 years since some of them came out, they still will make movies with them characters in it. Why? Because people will make money off of it. Do I hate all remakes? No. Reboots, really reboots are just like, it's kind of like a remake in a way, but they change a lot maybe. Or they just continue on with it or something. The Child's Play movies that just came back out here recently, the, you know, Chucky, different movies. Some of them have got really bad. But the newer ones seem like they're getting back on point with being horror and being more scarier and being more brutal and not going, you know, they still got the one-liners and stuff like that. I'm waiting for another Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm waiting on the Nightmare on Elm Street with Robert Englund. They did remake it a few years back. It was horrible. I don't even remember the guy's name that played Freddy. Nobody can play Freddy but Robert Englund. So if he could ever come back and do one more, that would be pretty cool to see. Of course, for Halloween, though, I don't know. I'm just not really that into wanting to see this movie. But I eventually probably will see it. And they keep talking about another Friday the 13th movie and stuff. But there's other sequels. And there's other horror movies that's been remade. Remake something that needs to be remade. How about Satan's Cheerleaders? Something that was really low budget or something back in the day. Make it now and put a big production with it. Something that actually needed to be remade. Not classics and stuff. Which they will always do that. And I'm looking for a Jaws remake eventually one day. I'm sure that's coming too. I've always said that about that and The Exorcist. I've always said, but I've yet to see it. I've seen movies kind of come close to it and kind of acting like it, but it's not actually called it. But other movies and stuff, you know, they've been making remakes forever and everything. And I just want to do a video response to Gabby on this. And like I said, if you haven't ever checked her YouTube out, check it out. I first started watching her not even a year ago. She had like 110 subscribers when I started watching. And nowadays, she's got like over 1,600 within a year. She's got more than me. And I've been doing this shit for 58 years, man. I guess because she stays on point. She shows a lot of updates. And she talks about horror almost all the time. So, you know, me, I do a lot of different types of videos. So maybe if I did that, I would probably do that and get more subs and stuff. But I'm happy where I'm at. I got a small community that does watch my videos and do enjoy them. And I just keep doing what I do, baby. So that's remakes and reboots and sequels and all that stuff to horror movies. Till next time.